happens if people can't get in there?
Hey Salvador, can you hear us?
100 applications going, they can only.
Yes, I can.
They have
Awesome.
to go 20. What happens to
You see what Jay?
They go
like mobile Jay.
Yeah.
What do you see now? You see the screen, right?
When did you?
Salvador, you see the screen, right?
You were not.
Yep, I can see the project.
Okay, awesome. So I can change between projector and the good one. Okay, awesome.
Screen share.
This way, then.
So I can manually just tap on.
I mean, don't you feel that? No, I go there only like when I have to. I don't really go on there.
But it's like you were saying.
They spend time on it.
25, and then now they narrowed it down to 6, and they'll pick one.
When you're working on your app,
And the rest of the time they go home.
and then you
Innovation
log
challenge,
in,
share something in the innovation challenge.
test it out, and then
Yeah. And then 20 of them, gets you. It does happen sometimes, but yeah, I try not to do that.
Oh wait, yeah, they're.
It's, next Tuesday, right?
Is that it? Okay.
Oh, it's 23rd.
They're trying to fill out a bunch of money. I'll wait. Yeah.
Yeah, next Tuesday. 23rd.
Okay, I think this is good.
Yeah, I'd like to explore that. Last time I think I did the seed swap. So,
June 23rd. Yeah. The investor roundtable. Oh.
I don't know if it's the weather or
I typed them on there.
another group trying to do it around the same time.
Yeah, the iOS group is doing the same thing.
oh yeah, they canceled because of something, right?
WWDC.
Yeah, there was the Mac guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
WWDC was what, a couple weeks ago now?
Last week, I think.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah. They had theirs then.
They're doing a meetup based on that.
So they moved it because of that to this week, and it coincided with that.
It's been last week.
I would
Maybe.
mute, yeah, mute and speaker also.
Yeah, I did. Did you find the pricing card?
Yeah, I did, but it didn't tell me
So I'll show you.
Around for a couple more minutes.
So,
People on the stream, we're going to start in 5 minutes. Hopefully.
did they hear that too?
What's that?
I said, can we see that?
Let's see, we can.
All right. So, what do I do?
We have a flip side view.
Yeah. I can do that.
For individual developers.
Oh.
No, so when you're broadcasting, I think you see the flip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sounds good. I can definitely take a look at this.
So with these, basically are connecting to data in Kinvey. If you want to connect to data external to Kinvey that is writing your enterprise data store or something, then you need this kind of stuff.
No, we are starting, so
Yeah, that's
I'll
what
look
I'm
at the
saying.
options.
And I mean, if and as you're building the apps, and if you go to some application, you put them in.
Oh, that's really nice.
Of course.
Yeah.
Part of my job.
We can maybe start off with introductions. Why don't we take a couple of minutes to go through and talk about who you are and what we do. First, I'll go. You're at the Mobile Phoenix Meetup. We meet on third Thursdays of the month, and we also run a yearly festival. This year, the festival is going to be on September 19th, so make sure your calendar is free for that day and pencil it in. But our date has been confirmed, though. And we're looking for speakers and sponsors and all that. So the call for speakers is out, so if you have ideas, if you have interest in speaking or listening to something cool technology-wise, send us an email, and to try to find the right speakers. And if you have contacts that want to speak and all that stuff, definitely send out our way. Before we get started with the presentation, why don't we go around and talk about.
I'm the Java developer. I primarily work with Windows 2, the mobile version. I have working
I'm Jay Carpenter, and my primary endeavor is called PhoneWord. It's basically a way to bring harmony to all our listed addresses. And I'm working on a prototype that's built in Stack, full stack JavaScript. And in addition to that, I'm also the co-organizer of the Blockchain Meetup. If you're interested in blockchain or using it, July the 14th, second Tuesday night. We're also going to have a week after the Notary Fest. We're going to have a blockchain hack all day in part of the channel. Saturday,
I'm Jeremy, moving back into iOS development back in 2011 as well, and really small apps.
Son, been developing for an actor 2 years now.
Ron, not really a big mobile developer, just like to hear about technologies.
I'm Paris, I'm with Kinvey, basically lead all the technical efforts for our sales processes across our platforms. So, obviously you'll be learning about the platform today, but if you are building on this and you're getting started and if you have any questions, people will feed that to me and I'll come my cards to that as well. So the plan is, and obviously as you're building, you will see the value and you'll use it in your production app as well.
I'm Pranil, one of the co-organizers of this meetup and Notary Fest floor. I run a startup called Mokria with mobile apps for enterprises like Intel, Salesforce, Twitter.
I am Brett Whiteman. I'm new here to Kieran that we met last month, and I'm passionate about working with the small business owners, entrepreneurs, and helping them set up their business so it can be flexible and give them what they need for the future.
I'm Anjali, one of the co-organizers. I'm a mobile enthusiast. I think I started somewhere around 2009-ish. I worked on a lot of different platforms and still continuing to do that.
And now for the speaker.
Yeah, so I'm Matt Quinn. I am sad to say that it took me a long time to get into mobile. So I started really getting into it when I joined Kinvey in January of this year, so that's 5 months, but I've jumped in pretty deep. So I'm excited about the potential. Obviously, Paris and I are assigned to the West Coast, focused on large enterprise customers and helping them or enable them to build mobile applications faster and more cost effectively with our platform. So thank you for inviting us. I'll have my cards as well. How many in the room have heard of MBaaS, Mobile Backend as a Service? Okay, great. So we'll be learning for a lot of people, which is good. You heard of it?
Is that MBaaS? What did you say?
And I'm the sales guy, so I'll try to breeze through this so that we can get to Paris's demo, because that's a lot cooler. But hopefully this gives you a little bit of a feel of Kinvey. Mobile Backend as a Service. We're happy to say that our CEO Shravish actually coined the phrase. So we have a little dirty napkin at corporate in a frame from 2010, 2011 that has when he invented the term. So we definitely think that's pretty cool. I'm sure that over the course of the next couple of years, you see Shravish. He's always open to travel. He actually very willing to travel and come out to customers. So Monday he flew out from Boston for a 1-day trip to meet with DreamWorks to talk about some of the new cool things that they're doing. But I'm sure that maybe the festival would be a good idea for Shravish, but he's a fantastic speaker, understands both the technical and the business side. So public cloud or cloud native as a service offering, what we see is the most important is the agility of the platform. So it allows whatever's going on the front end from a development standpoint, from a mobile perspective, to tie into the back end. right? So a lot of the complexity and the challenges that we're experiencing when we talk to enterprise customers is around connecting it to backend systems. So whether that's on-premise like Oracle or Microsoft, or whether that's third-party like Salesforce, LinkedIn, and the like. Forrester and Gartner, leading analysts, they call it two-speed IT, so we feel like we enable that bimodal IT. What's driving this area and the need for this platform is around mobile, also works for web as well, IoT, tablets, and wearables. Sold as a subscription license, cloud offering, and an ROI to enable IT for the different lines of business. So a lot of times, Paris and I, for some of the new enterprise customers, they're building their first mobile app, and it's for a specific line of business, right? Where the complexity comes in is that as you're building more and more apps, right, you're looking for a repeatable process, and that's obviously where the Kinvey platform comes in. We were founded in 2010, told you that we coined the term MBaaS, or Shravish did, headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. When I joined the company, Paris joined in October of last year. I joined in January. I think since Paris has been on board, we've hired 20 people. So pretty cool. We're up to about 50 people. Obviously, a lot of pent-up need coming on, and we're seeing a lot more traction within the enterprise. Paris and I just, actually, before we got off here, we're talking with Electronic Arts. We're talking with a lot of large customers that are definitely feeling the pain as they build more and more mobile apps. We grew up in indie developers, so over 25,000 apps have been built on our platform. I think the number's closer to 90,000 developers that are actually using the platform, which is really cool. Easy to sign up. Just go to kinvey.com and you can start building your apps, grabbing our SDKs and client libraries, and get started right away. So even for the indie developer, we use the same message with our enterprise customers. One of our value props is it's self-service. It's ready to go right out of the gates and actually get into it right away. This is an IDC maturity scape for enterprise mobility. So it just shows the different parts of an organization and where they see most companies. Today, I would say that we see most of the customers we go into are opportunistic. So if you see that, if there's a lot of negativity around that, right? Limited interoperability, not a lot of cross-functional collaboration, moving fast with little consistency and standardization. As you start getting that repeatable process, right, which platforms and MBaaS solutions give you, is that you have a backbone for interoperability, standardized platform to build, and obviously these mobility supports business operation and excellence for quality moving forward. So a lot of times, this is obviously a mature mobile audience, but when we go into some of our newer customers that maybe are mostly web developers or just putting together a mobile center of excellence team, is that the understanding or the perception is that it's all in the app UI, right? And that's everything, that's the application. But obviously, as we peel back the envelope and we start looking at, whether these are business to business, business to consumer, or business to enterprise applications, there's a whole lot more that goes into it. Right? And these are obviously where the enterprise challenges are: enterprise integrations, scaling and updating, and then the mobile backend piece. Any questions there? So another way to look at it, and the way we look at it, is that custom features and what we think our customers should focus on is building that app, making that beautiful app, that user experience. Worry about Kinvey for all the standard components, right? Leverage the low code, right, and use us for 75% of the work, so that when you're building apps moving forward, you're already on step 7 of 10, as opposed to starting at the beginning every time. Every mobile app that we see from an enterprise perspective, has these necessary mobile features: offline data sync, user management, encryption, data file store, app logic, enterprise data. So this was one of our customers in the East Coast, large pharmaceutical company. And we had them talk to us about how much quicker they were able to get stuff done using the Kinvey platform, right? To grab our SDKs for whatever development language they're developing their apps in, right? You could see quite a lot of time, right? In some cases, 15 to 20x reduction, and obviously that's what's driving the ROI in the enterprise. Some of our large customers, obviously, we talked about that we've been around since 2011. The enterprise focus came in the last 12 to 18 months. And obviously, this list is consistently getting bigger and better. So, quick look. I would say the number one point that I like to say about the value of Kinvey in our MBaaS compared to some of our competition is the flexibility. So, no matter how you're building apps on the front end, we have client libraries or our SDKs that tie in those mobile features for however you're working. You can't see it at the bottom there, but offline caching, data synchronization, encryption, those features we talked about are already right outside of the box. So instead of having to build 2,000-3,000 lines of code, we're talking about just a couple, and now you get all those features for whatever language you're developing your applications in. So once again, the full flexibility on the front end. Make your beautiful apps however you want it. Kinvey comes in with our mobile client libraries right outside of the box. Then we have our Kinvey platform. That's where data, identity, engagement, business logic. Business logic is another huge point of emphasis right now in the enterprise for how you build obviously logic into your applications. And then these things that are very challenging to do, right? It takes a long time to do it for one app. Obviously, as you're building out tens or hundreds or thousands of mobile applications, which is what Gartner and Forrest think all the enterprise will be doing, right now we have these reusable connectors, we'll call them, right? So no matter you move from that first app to the 10th app, right? You just click in, have this automatic connector that ties into whatever system you're using, whether that's third party or on premise. So eventually, how it all looks is that, what the kind of the keys to the kingdom are developing that service catalog, right? So that's kind of the finished product, and where, Kinvey kind of adds the most value is that at the end, you have this repeatable process moving forward to build your applications. So a couple quick use cases, and then we'll get to Paris. So this is, don't worry about this. Is the Gray's Enterprise app. It's not dirty. You don't have to worry about downloading it. A lot around taking pictures of shoes and doing videos, but NBC came to Kinvey and said, hey, we're building this app, right? It's going to be part of a gamification to help drive ticket sales for the movie. What would you advise? And so, the normal IT questions: how many users, how many concurrent users, and the guys at NBC said, we have absolutely no idea, right? So that was the reason that they wanted to go to a platform like Kinvey. Over 1 million downloads in the first 24 hours. 2.7 million API calls, right? So if they had built this on-premise and with their own resources, they never would have been able to stand up the environment, right? Since Kinvey's service is obviously as a service, we take care of the DevOps, we take care of the monitoring, we take care of all the scaling. So this allowed them to obviously worry about just the front end of the app. Not dirty, again, you can download it. Holder construction, right? So another big workflow. So a lot of our customers say, hey, what are your use cases? One of our most popular is with field service workers, right? So you pick whether it's utilities or construction or engineering, right? They're carrying around a 25-pound laptop, sometimes something else, right? Give them the ability to do all their work, be efficient, take live video, live data, all the way up on a simple tablet, right? Returns a considerable amount of dollars back into the organization. So this was for the Helix project, which was the building of the Atlanta Falcons' new stadium. It's actually still going and very over budget right now, but still going. But obviously this facilitates constant contact between field workers and architects, and also eliminates the need for printed docs. Last use case is VMware. So VMware is a big customer of ours. This is the MyVM support app. So anybody that goes on takes a look at the different support cases. They came to us in October. Right now they're looking at a pipeline of business to enterprise internal apps to help build on it. And obviously Kinvey's the platform.
Yeah, and you're comparing it to Feed Henry. How expensive is Feed Henry compared to you guys?
Great question. So from an enterprise perspective, we took two different approaches. Feed Henry charges on a per user basis, and the Kinvey price is on a per application, per use case, right? So from a pricing perspective, a very different approach. In terms of kind of value, we see a lot of our value around the flexibility. A lot of the things that you do within Feed Henry, you're kind of forced in that. The flexibility of our platform allows you to do things around DLCs, which are those connectors, around the business logic, and around other components.
And pricing-wise, compare that to Parse?
Parse is a user-based.
Parse is more of a consumer-focused. It might be a little bit cheaper, but their functionality-wise, they're probably less than 50%, and with the connectors we have for enterprise sources. So.
Yeah. So typically, when we're from a to Parse's point, we see Parse more on the consumer side of things. Who we're seeing more in the enterprise is Feed Henry, who's owned by Red Hat, and a company called AnyPresence. That's typically who we see.
Who are the other players in the MBaaS area that you guys think of competition?
I don't think you're competition.
Okay. Who else are the second or third after you guys?
I mean, I would say that Feed Henry and AnyPresence.
Yeah.
Those are who we see the most. I think a key differentiator is understanding, how you're going to use the platform, right? Because mobile backend as a service, why we think ours is the right solution is because from a front-end perspective, it allows you to develop on native iOS, native Android, hybrid HTML5, right? If you looked at like an IBM or an SAP or a Coney, you're kind of forced to use the front-end tool that they're using, right? And as we've seen from the past, that front-end tool changes a lot, right? So you need that flexibility. And we'll continue to build up our SDKs and our client libraries as well for whatever you're building your applications in.
Okay. You bring up legacy, so question is, so all your use cases have been mainly, somebody wants to build something new, they have a website, they have big enterprise software that they want to connect to, so it's something new, right? How about developers or companies that already have a mature user base and have custom homegrown applications? What sort of path do you guys have for those kinds of companies or those kind of clients?
It's the same path. Basically, what he meant by that was you don't have to constrain yourself when building a mobile app, thinking about how to connect into these legacy systems or how to support them. So no matter which data source you have in the enterprise, whether it's SAP, Salesforce, or any custom homegrown database, we can build connectors to connect into that using our platform. And the mobile app will be basically more user experience centric. So the app doesn't look like it's a mobile version of a desktop app, right? Yeah. It looks mobile app, modern mobile app. Behind the scenes, we are doing all the dirty work for you.
And so, as a large legacy app, I can slowly move different parts of the services to Kinvey, basically.
Of course, yes. And I mean, think about it. Like I come from an enterprise development background, and I've been mobile for a few years now. You don't port all your legacy functions to mobile. You have to choose which ones pertain to mobile and then port those over. So start with that, right? And then if there is really a need where there is some application that needs to have all functionality on mobile, it'll probably be different screens, not one screen having 10 checkboxes or whatever. So it'll have to be function by function by. Right.
Any questions from the stream?
Nope. You already asked the question I had about parse.
Okay.
You're going to get my speed on this now.
And then, Paras, can you share your screen?
Yeah,
set it up, yeah.
So should I
just
my mic here or?
Yeah, no,
That's fine.
keep it muted, sorry.
All right, can everybody see my screen?
For a second, we could.
All right, I promise this is the only slide I have. Just wanted to give you my contact info there, and I also have my cards here with my email and my phone number if you really want it. So, any questions from Matt's presentation so far? So everybody is building mobile applications here. Some of the feature sets that Matt mentioned, do you have experience building those, like offline feature set, connecting into data sources, and what is your experience with that?
It's a pain. Writing everything your own.
Synchronizing your local database with your
Yeah. So I mean, to your point, yes, it's definitely a pain, and that's a purpose that Kinvey solves. You know, reduces your pain, reduces the time to market, and saves you money. So let me actually quickly jump into the demo directly. I just want to show you how to build using Kinvey and where to go to sign up. So go to kinvey.com, click this orange sign up button on top right. You can create a free starter account today and get started building on it in less than 10 seconds without needing for an approval of the account from somebody. It's automatically approved. Go and create an app. The limitation with the starter edition versus enterprise edition or business edition is that with starter you can host your data in Kinvey platform in the Kinvey cloud. With enterprise edition or business edition, you can connect to your enterprise on-premise data source. So I already have some apps created in my account. I'm going to show you some demo of these apps and how to basically build those in the backend from Kinvey perspective. As Matt mentioned, we do not provide a front-end UI development tool. So the front-end user experience is really how you want to build it. It's whether native, Objective-C, Swift for iOS, Java for Android, whether you use Android Studio, Eclipse, or whatever you want, Visual Studio.NET, Windows apps, PhoneGap, Xamarin for cross-platform, Amber.js, Angular. We have SDKs for all of these. And so if you go to our documentation website, devcenter.kinvey.com, you will see all the platforms we have native SDKs for iOS, Android, Java, HTML5, some JavaScript frameworks there, including PhoneGap, Titanium, Node.js, Xamarin, and a REST API on top. So literally, it doesn't matter which platform you are building for today or a new platform that comes out tomorrow. You can always at least use a REST API to build for that. And it's feature parity across these SDKs. So no matter which platform you build for today or tomorrow, you'll have the same kind of call you're making from that. And these SDKs hook into your development environment natively, like you would just integrate any other third-party library.
Do you guys have analytics and all that?
Yes.
As part of it? Okay. So you don't have to go to Google or you don't have to go to App Annie and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, we have some basic analytics. We actually have a new version of analytics that we are building out today, which will be a more comprehensive version. It'll probably come out, I think, sometime in Q3. Yeah, July.
You share your screen for us? You share your screen?
This is my screen, right?
No, into the Hangout. Into the Hangout.
I thought I was sharing over there.
I think you're only sharing the presentation one.
No, I said share my entire screen.
Try again.
Entire screen. Okay.
Okay, now it is. Thanks.
I'm going to show app built on Kinvey using this as well. So, okay, perfect. Can you see this on the Google Hangout?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So you go through hundreds of apps I have on my phone. So here's a sample app use case built for the insurance industry. Okay. So sample login here. And as I go through this, I talk about the feature set within the app and what is coming from Kinvey and whatnot. So you see that I logged into the app. That login is currently based on SAML-based login. In enterprises, you must have seen that a lot. So it's SAML authentication coming from an external provider logging into the app. As soon as I log in, you see data on the screen. There's data around the insurance policy, the details on the bill, next payment coming up. All this data for the bill is coming from a SQL server connected via our data link connectors. I just want to show you different things, and then think about if you were building this on your own, what kind of things does it take? And I'll show you the code for this and export as well. This is a native iOS app, so how easy it is to build something like this. The data for that is from SQL for the builds. Data for the vehicle is actually coming from a SOAP API hosted on Cloud Foundry. And the settings data here is actually coming from data stored within Kinvey. I think the internet is a little bit slow here, so it's taking a while. But so this is coming from data stored on Kinvey. So we have a mix and mashup of different data stores outside and internal to Kinvey. Now this app works offline as well. If I actually disconnect my internet right here, which I'll do, and I go and browse the app still, you still see the data within the app. You still see all the data that I had pulled down from server once, and it's working. I can even go and file a new claim when I'm offline. So right now, the address, I don't know if we pull up from GPS, but let's say something was just confused, create by just some random address, and I submit this. Now, this is offline right now, so it's storing that local cache, and then as soon as I connect again, and let me actually also change some settings when I'm offline. So I'll go and change some settings, and as soon as I come online, hopefully this connects to the internet very soon. So this notification is actually a push notification coming back from the server that your settings have been saved, so the offline data was synchronized back to the server. And the claim data was also sent to the server.
And so the push notifications is part of the MBaaS?
Yes. Yes. So I'm showing you the app right now, all the use case, all the stuff, and then I'll show you how it was set up in the console and how the code was run in iOS as well. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt anytime. Any questions on the call? Okay. So you see that we implemented offline use case synchronization when you come back online, implemented the claim submission. In fact, when I'm online, you can even see the GPS comes in with the address here. I can even take a photo and submit that alongside my claim. And again, submit something there. And this will be submitted, and the claim will go up to the server with a photo. So the claim is verified. Now, think about all the features that you've seen here. Pulling in from different data sources offline, submitting a photo uploads and stuff. So Kinvey platform not just allows you to host data within Kinvey, but also file storage, so PDFs, images, videos, and so on. Now, if I jump back into the Kinvey console for this app, this is the insurance demo app. You will see, on the dashboard, it quickly tells you what all data collections I have for this app. And this icon towards the right means that the data for these collections is coming from external data source. So the only data that's residing within Kinvey is the settings data, the settings screen data for notifications. The users, as I said, are connecting from external to Kinvey. You will see the user information here, but any data that you see for a data collection that's connected to external to Kinvey or user authentication source that's connected external to Kinvey is just here for display purpose. When you go to the screen, it's not cached in Kinvey, or for security purposes, it's not residing within Kinvey. So if you go to the auth source, you will see that I'm actually connecting to a SAML-based authentication provider. But very easily, I could come here and say connect to Active Directory, or connect to a OAuth 2 source, or even a custom authentication connector that I've created. And the app will keep working as is without need to change even a single line in the app, as long as your connections back are in the same format. So you can change that here. And if you guys really want to see, let me quickly demonstrate that to you. So if I change my provider to SAML redirect, and so now I'm connecting into ping identity. Anybody here knows ping identity? Which you will see in 1 second. This is just some sample code I'm putting here. Save. So now if I go to my app, let me actually log out, close the app, and I reopen the app. I haven't changed a single line of code, and you should see the new login screen come up. Yeah. So now I can log in with a different provider without the need to do anything else, and I'll log in here as well.
So here the UI also was actually customized by the platform?
So yeah, so this is coming from a good question, Kiran. So if you go here, you see it says do not customize the login experience. So right now we are showing you the native login screen that's coming from ping provider.
Okay.
So you're directly authenticating with them, you just get a token back.
Okay.
But you can customize that if you need it. So for the purpose, let me not show my password, just log in here. Okay, so I log in here and I still have all that data coming in. So you saw all the data for bills coming from that SQL provider, details regarding the app and everything. So I was able to change my identity provider with 0 lines of code just in the backend configuration.
So for this, you use Ping for your login and all.
Yes.
So it's as easy that I can integrate with the Twitter or Facebook, their authentication.
Yes, you can.
LinkedIn,
So
in any other like.
yes, so you see here, you have actually available.
Oh, okay. So these
Twitter,
are the
LinkedIn.
available ones right now.
Well, no. So you can connect into anything really.
Okay.
These are just, we are pointing you to how to do that with Kinvey. If you were doing with Kinvey, we'll just point you to the documentation for that.
Okay.
You can connect into any data source, any social third-party source. If we don't have it out of the box, there's an option for custom as well. You can build a custom connector to talk to that and send the data back to Kinvey or the token back to Kinvey. Also, a security feature here is, let me change it back to where we were actually right now, that once you connect to any of these identity sources, they send you a user token back. So for security purpose, we do not send this token to the device. We encrypt it and store it within the Kinvey platform in a piece we call Mobile Entity Connect. And we generate a new Kinvey token that is mapped to that and sent to the device. So even if the device is hacked or data stolen, they can never get back to the user's identity. Every time a request is made to fetch data, it doesn't matter whether it's data within Kinvey or external to Kinvey, it will send that Kinvey token with that request. And if it's data hosted outside to Kinvey, the Kinvey platform maps that Kinvey token into the actual user token and sends that along with that request. And it validates obviously if the user has access or not. So as you saw, it was that easy for me to and we have out-of-the-box connections for Active Directory, LDAP, and SAML providers. So think about enterprises or even your use cases. You don't have to change a single line of code. Sorry, you don't have to change a single line of code within your app. From a data perspective, as I showed you the different data collections we've created. And then, okay, here's the file store actually. Our file store is CDN backed, so no matter which part of the world you're accessing it from, it's fast and available locally. Any questions? Okay. So you see the files that we are uploading. I'm assuming if I see today's date, you will see the file I uploaded later on if I refresh this somewhere. But you can actually go to one of these data sources and let me actually. So I just clicked on this data link section here to load that in a new window. So I have configured 3 external data sources right now as Microsoft SQL Server using a Node.js connector, a Java SOAP API using a Java connector hosted on Cloud Foundry, and another SOAP API hosted on AWS. So just to show this for demo, you can connect into different data sources. Now, if I go back into any of these data collections and I go to settings, you see which connector is it connecting into. And all I can do, if I want to change my data source, all I need to do is change data source, select any other if they have the same data format, or say store data in Kinvey and confirm that. And that's it. Now I'm storing data in Kinvey. Not a single line of change on my app. And again, I'll show you that actually this real life change for the other settings screen because I don't have that set up in the right format for bills, but you need to make sure that the right column names are set up and stuff within Kinvey, obviously. So for settings, so if I go to settings, for the settings data collection, you will see it's storing data in Kinvey. And as you saw earlier, I can show you, in fact, if I change a setting here on my device, okay, I know there's actually, I need to update to the latest version of the iOS library here. There was a bug which makes it in a dev version that made it blank, but let's see if that comes back up. Then I was offline. If I'm online, maybe come back up. Maybe not. and I need to update to the latest version, but it's an instant change in the backend. It's making the change in the backend is just a problem in the display over here. So you will see that you can create these data links as well. You can create data links into all these out of the box. We have sample connectors you can customize, but again, you can connect into any custom data source, no matter what it is. You can create a custom data link connector that talks to that IoT or data source as well. Any questions?
Just to make sure, this is not an open source server that someone can just download at their local machine.
You mean our platform?
Yeah. It's
The platform.
completely hosted on your server.
So I'm glad you asked. There are 3 different options we provide our platform as. One is the multi-tenant environment that you see here, console.kinvey.com, or the one that you go and sign up at kinvey.com with. We have a virtual private cloud environment that can be hosted in a public cloud, but in your dedicated environment. And then we have on-prem solutions. Obviously, the latter solutions are a little bit more expensive, so it's generally for enterprises. But as a startup, you would probably start with the multi-tenant environment.
And you could actually, if you go big, you can figure it out.
Yeah, you can go out. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Am I doing a good job, bad job? No questions? Good. Okay, cool. And then one of the key features you would see that we have against some of our competitors, Kiran, is business logic piece here. For any of the data collections that you've created, we provide you basically 6 different types of hooks. Pre-save, pre-fetch, pre-delete, and post-save, post-fetch, and post-delete hook. So it just basically, if you were saving data, it doesn't matter whether the data is hosted external to Kinvey or in Kinvey, these hooks will be called. So if you were saving data to your backend and you wanted to validate the data, whether it's valid or not, you will call an on pre-save hook to validate the data. If it's not, just throw the error back to the user, or if it's okay, send the command to the server. Continue sending the command. And then you will see, I think, for the settings, we have pre-save, post-save. I'm not really sure that's in there. This is the test. So for claims, you will see we have claims that are, we are logging here, and then I know on settings post-save, we have actually an email and push notification that comes out.
And so this is just JavaScript.
This is playing on JavaScript today.
Okay.
Again, we are building a new version of this as we speak, which will allow you to host Node.js in here as well. Okay. But you see these modules that we have here. These are actually NPM modules that are available within the Kinvey platform already. Okay. So you don't have to worry about the security or anything. They are completely running in our environment. And so you have modules for push, you have modules for email, you have modules for logging and user data, and so on. So in this case, what we are doing is, in fact, you saw when I changed the setting, I got a push notification. If I jump back, you see this email came in through as well. So notification of settings update. So what we are doing in here is we are saying whenever the settings is saved, so on post save, when the save is successful, send an email to the user, and as well as send a push notification to the user. And this is a lot of logging code in as well, but it's really only a few lines of code, maybe 3 or 4 lines of code for you to implement this in a platform. And how we enable this, email is obviously, we use SendGrid in the backend, and we have SMS as well via video integration. You don't have to configure anything for those. For push, you need to basically configure Apple push and Android push. So all you need to do is come into the engagement screen here, come into configuration, and literally the only 2 things you need to do is upload your P12 certificate file you get from the Apple Developer Portal, and that's it. That's your push configuration. You don't need to manage your own server, to host all the device keys and everything. You don't need to do anything. For Google, you will basically just get the Google Cloud Messaging API key from the developer account again and put it here. That's it. All your configuration, all your management server side is taken care of. Now there are 3-4 different ways you can send push notifications here. One is, let's say, as an admin, if you wanted to send a push notification from the console, you can simply come in here and say, this is the push message. Hello PHX, that's it. And I send this push, and this will be sent, and I'll show you this on my screen right now. You see this came in. This was broadcasted to all the users of this particular app, which is Safe, so this is a demo app we have. And then you can also add conditions on, send it only when a certain value is equal to this, or when username equal to this, or send it only to certain users and so on. You can even just create your own custom JSON kind of query here that will need to be matched before that push notification is sent out. Another way to do this is we have, as part of our SDKs that you saw from here, once you integrate that in your app, one of the methods in the SDK is to send push notifications based on an event that is happening on the device. So you could just say kinvey.push.send, and it will send out to other users of the app as well.
And you can just send it to a particular user also?
Yeah. So
through the API?
Yeah, you can still query that username equal to this and all that. Yeah.
From the app.
Yeah. So there you saw that. You mentioned analytics earlier. We have some analytics, very basic analytics, quite frankly, at this stage. But we are working towards building a much more robust, full-featured analytics platform today, which will be, like you said, out in July. This just shows you total users, active users over a period of time, divided by device, and so on. I mean, we are not, at this stage, we were not trying to say that we are competing with Flurries of the world and others, but with the new platform, we will see that. And then custom branding, this is really more for enterprises or even startups if they want to. So one of the things is when the user signs up for your app, in the user settings, you can choose whether they need to verify the verification link in their email and need to click that or not. And if they do, what kind of email should they get? You can customize the template, the color scheme, the whatever, wording and all. And not just that. In fact, if I actually go to, I think so here's a platform how Schneider Electric is using it. They've completely customized. So they've chosen Kinvey as the platform of their whole enterprise. And any mobility project that happens in Schneider Electric goes on Kinvey. So their internal teams, they are basically trying to, in large enterprises, you must know, right? There are different departments. So one department kind of charge backs to other department when they are selling services to them. So that's the model they've done. So the other departments don't even need to know it's a Kinvey service. They know it's our IT who's given us this platform. So it's completely customized, not just the platform, but even the docs themselves, if you see. So if you come into Schneider Electric docs, you will see it's with their logo, their color scheme, and their sample apps and so on. So you can customize if you are an enterprise and you want to do that.
And obviously they can have their own domain also instead
of course. Yeah. And they do actually have an internal domain. This is just external to them. They have an intranet for this as well. So to show you this from a app perspective, how does this look when we are building this? And Kiran, how are we doing with time?
I think we're okay.
I have a few other use cases and apps to show you, but let's see. Let's start with this. So this is, as actually the name suggests, we built this demo app when we were pitching to Farmers, who is one of our customers now. So Farmers Insurance actually is our customer. Their app is their first app with Kinvey is going to be launching next week. In fact, going live next week.
So you build it for them, or
no,
they build it?
They build it. No, this was just a demo app during the sales process we built for them. But they have their, they have their outsource that they do to Cognizant and so on. But they have in-house developers as well with a team of developers. So we don't do development. No matter who you are, no matter how big the company is, how much you're paying, we are not in the mobile development business. We will introduce you to a partner who will develop it for you, Cognizant, Mobility, or whoever else. But we don't do mobile development. We have professional services, but really around our platform, how to configure if you really need help, or how to set the data links and all that, not for developing mobile apps. So it's a native app written in Swift. And if I actually go here, you will see, so this is basically all that is required from a Kinvey perspective. This is the SDK that you download from the Dev Center. And you just include it as any other library you have in your platform now. Obviously, this is Xcode, but whether you're building Visual Studio or Android Studio or whatever, same way. So you include this, and then what you need to do is on the initialization piece of the app, all you're doing is saying initialize the Kinvey service with this app ID and this app secret here. And this app ID and app secret are basically what you find on the dashboard, like an app ID and app secret. So it knows which Kinvey backend to talk to. It just initializes that. In this case, we are also initializing encryption level. and we are saying encryption level is complete, which means encrypt everything that's stored on the local device. And if you go into a dev center, you will basically be able to see on our guides, we have encryption guides, we have how to do push. I mean, we are a developer-friendly company, so all our documentation is available to the public. You can go and see whatever. Obviously, we are here to help if you need help, but this is there as well. So with encryption, you will see we have these options: no protection, complete, complete unless open, first login and stuff. So in this case, we are saying just complete, encrypt it all the time, every time. And then we are actually storing it for offline purpose as well. So once that is initialized, you just use it as a native call. In this case, we are saying make a call using the Kinvey API into the bills data collection, into the ID cards collection, into the policy collection that you saw in the backend. So you see bills, ID cards, and policy, and fetch data from those. All this call does is it returns you back JSON data, JSON objects. So you can parse that JSON just like native code you would be doing. So in this case, we are parsing that JSON over here. We are saying give us an array of bills, and we just parse it, and we show the data on the screen. As easy as that.
And so the encryption you were talking about is just for storing it
for
on
local
the
storage, yes.
But
no,
across
on the wire,
wire?
On the wire, it's all over TLS.
Okay. And then in the backend, it's not stored encrypted.
No. So anything that's stored in Kinvey is obviously encrypted.
Okay.
But anything that is on your own data store, that's encrypted. Okay. But on the wire from the mobile app to Kinvey is TLS. And then again from Kinvey to your data source will depend on what kind of connection you want to build. So, okay.
Are you doing anything with WebRTC?
I'm actually not the right guy to ask that question, but I can get back to you on that. Any other questions? Okay. But feel free to get my card, email me your question if you want, and I'll get back to you the answer for that. So basically all we are doing is just fetching that JSON and setting it down. And you will see here, this is built completely natively with the user interface and everything done using storyboards. Obviously, this is a native mobile app, but you can very easily use Kinvey as a backend for a website as well, which I'll show you in a minute.
Using the REST API then?
REST API, and then we have Angular libraries and Node libraries and all that. So you can use those, and PhoneGap libraries and stuff you can use. So this is native app again. I'm just showing you this, that all the UI and the UX was done natively. So Kinvey doesn't force you to go down a rabbit hole to build it in a certain way. It's your choice how you want to build a user experience. We want you to give the best user experience to your users that you can. So native or hybrid or cross-platform, it's up to you. So this was one use case. Any questions so far? Anything else? All right. So another app I would love to show you actually is
so a question from the stream, is it more expensive than parse?
You already asked that.
Yeah, I already asked that.
So, okay, if the other person who's asking this question knows parse pricing, I mean, give me an idea what they're charging. I don't. But I mean, it really depends on the use case. Our startup plan is free, so it can be more expensive than parse. So in that sense, we are not. If you look at our enterprise plan, yes, it is more expensive than parse.
What do you get with the startup plan?
You can build your complete app, but the data and users are stored in Kinvey.
Okay.
If you want to connect to external data and empty sources, then you need business or enterprise. And then I think there's a limitation on the free account for the number of calls or number of users you can have. And then there's the indie plan, which is only a few dollars a month, which increases that as well for you.
Okay. Indie plan is for independent developers that want to build applications for somebody else.
So for whatever reason you want to build. It's not my call why you build it.
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, let me share this app on the screen here with you first. It's time for enchiladas. So here's this app actually written using PhoneGap. There's a web component to this as well, but I actually have the command for that in my other file, so I want to disconnect this for a second. So 1 second.
I forgot to copy it earlier, so.
So while I'm trying to get that, think about, does anybody here know about the microservices architecture? Basically, nobody? Okay. So what microservices architecture really means is you don't build your application as a monolithic app, right? A single app with everything, all the business logic, all the connectors within the app are in one central place. So with Kinvey, we kind of enable that by building these data link connectors, small data link connectors and small auth link connectors that you need. And it kind of enables these small services to reside in different environments. If you wanted to, you can host it in your enterprise hosting, or you can host it within Kinvey. But these are small pieces of apps that are being run in their separate identities. So if one goes down, it doesn't impact the platform, or you can scale and scale down in one side of the app versus not having to pay for the full platform to be scaled. And our platform itself is fully managed and fully scaled by Kinvey. You don't have to worry about how many users you get, whether it's thousands or millions or billions potentially, right? So you need to be duplicating.
So on the website, you don't have anything for startups. You just have businesses, enterprises.
Look at the link at the bottom. For starters and indie plans, okay?
Oh, okay. Hidden.
I mean, it's just that we actually started out with an indie focus or startup focus, obviously to build the platform and everything. But later on, I was not part of that plan. But I think as the company decided the enterprise is where the money is, go enterprise way.
So what does environments mean?
Sorry?
Oh, dev or production.
Yeah, so for each Kinvey backend app, you can have multiple environments. So yeah, again, you can use it for dev test or whatever, or for other purposes, whatever purpose you want to use it for. So and you will be able to share your data link connectors and other, like using a service catalog that Matt mentioned, across these environments and across apps even in your account. So if you have this kind of continuous integration flow or a DevOps flow where you have a separate development team that's building feature A versus the feature B, you can have them build on separate environments and then combine it in a staging environment and test it on there. So, but that's all part of the same price. You're not charging you extra for each environment. And then when it says pricing is per app, that really means one use case. So it's per use case really.
But if I have a free app and a pro app,
what do you mean? Internet?
Yeah.
I mean, those are different apps, right?
Okay.
Different use cases. So you will pay per use case as an enterprise or as a business account. So if you build a small marketing app that you expect only 20 users to use and don't want to pay and host data in Kinvey, do that for free. On the other hand, if you have a consumer app that gets thousands or millions of people, give you a plan for that particular app. So the plan is not logged. Your account is not logged into a plan that you need to pay for every app you build, to pay for the apps that need that feature set. I don't know why it's not showing the screen now, but so here's the admin screen for this.
Can you share that other screen again now? I'm seeing the.
You're seeing the other one, or yeah. Oh, I guess I was still showing it over there.
Not yet.
Is it showing anything so far?
No, nothing.
Is it shared?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you're seeing only one screen, right? Yeah. So here's another app built using Angular, so web interface using Kinvey in the backend as well. And there's actually a companion app written in PhoneGap for the mobile devices. So it's basically simply a logistics use case where you are a scheduling company and you want to schedule package deliveries for your clients. So as an administrator, you can come in and you can set up clients, and you can see we have some good clients, Tom Hanks, Nicki Minaj, and so on. But so you would come in, you would set up shipments, and then here, let me actually create a new dispatch right now. Already, so you see, I already have some dispatches here. Bring my mirror screen here as well. So on this, you will see if I have these pickups already available that are scheduled for me within the admin portal. I can do a new one, and I will get a push notification that as a driver who's. So this is basically a driver app. They get notifications on, hey, you have a new pickup available. Do you want to take it? Yes, no. It's much like an Uber kind of use case. You have somebody has a shipment, and then you pick one, and then it shows you directions, and you pick up and you confirm delivery, and you can basically confirm tracking and start tracking that. And this is in demo mode right now on my device, but in the real mode, you can actually track and see your location on the screen. What we've also done is we've integrated this with Google Places API. So if I actually zoom in a little bit here, so we've enabled this feature on the app that you have to be zoomed in a certain level, and you will see these markers coming in where it shows you places of interest nearby using Google Places platform.
Okay. And you said the tracking information, how is that implemented? Is that a module in Kinvey?
Yeah, so yes, there is. So there's a call you can make to send the tracking information, and then we also, if you really wanted, we integrate with, obviously you can send it to Kinvey, but we also integrate with Google Location Places API and Foursquare if you want it. So this just shows you basically places of interest near you, and then as a driver, let's say you say I'm hungry and whatever you pick a restaurant nearby. Well, this is not a restaurant, but whichever one. So you can basically say, okay, I want to pause my tracking, and you see on the upper right hand of the screen, it basically pause the tracking, and once you've had your dinner or gotten out of the hospital for whatever reason, you can start tracking there. And it will start tracking, and your time starts, tracking again. As you get to the delivery location, you come in and basically you can sign for the delivery, and basically the hand-drawn signature here. Again, this is saved as an image in the Kinvey file store.
And the signing and all that stuff is also provided as an API, or you have to use your own component?
But the file storage goes in Kinvey, and you can work down. And then we confirm the delivery, and again, it should probably generate another. So I have one more delivery. So since now I only have one delivery left, and this is just how we build the app. If there's one delivery, it shows you the delivery. If there are multiple, it says you have multiple deliveries. Go to select one. But let me see if it sent another email right now. I share this screen now again. You see this new email that just came in. It just says the delivery was delivered at this address and all that stuff for that. So both the web app and the mobile app are talking to the same Kinvey backend. And in fact, if you saw and mark that delivery as complete, if I refresh the screen, one of these will probably be gone. So you see I only have 2 open requests now, 3 earlier, so I took care of that. So this is the logic RAG backend that I'm connecting into. Same way, so in this case, this is just an internal name to Kinvey. I guess we started by showing only restaurants, but we went to showing points of interest. So this is basically connecting into a data link connector for Google Places, and you will see we support that out of the box right there. So, and then we have data for all the other items in the app, for the client, for the shipment, for tracking, stored within the Kinvey platform for this. And again, push and engagement features for business logic and so on configured. Another thing I wanted to show you for business logic was you can so there are three different types of business logics. One is these hooks that I showed you earlier for a particular data collection. One is a endpoint, as you see over here, and one is common code. Endpoint is something that's a JavaScript in the platform that you can call from anywhere. You can actually call this endpoint directly from the local mobile SDK as well. Directly you can call into this. And then there's a common code that is basically called from all the hooks. If you wanted something common, that could be called from everywhere. And then for endpoints, you can schedule these to run at a certain time intervals and so on. And you'll be able to basically, if you had a cleanup script or validation script, you could do that here as well. For the hooks, another important feature here is that there's something here is external business logic. So if you asked earlier, this is JavaScript only today, yes, but you can write your own completely in any language you want, external, and put that in here, and it will call that instead for this hook. So you can connect into that as well.
And so all of this is built on AWS or your own platform?
I mean our platform?
Yeah.
So again, like I said, our platform is cloud-based, so it can be hosted in basically different platforms: Azure, AWS, VMware, vCloud Air, right? Yeah, vCloud Air, VMware's vCloud Air. So I mean, our platform itself is written in Node.js.
Right. So typically in the enterprise, they have a cloud partner that they want to go to. So
yeah. So our platform is written in Node.js. We can host it on all these different providers. So our default one that you see, again, the multi-tenant default one is on AWS. We also have a multi-tenant available for you on VMware if you want it. And then obviously whatever you have in the enterprise, you can put on.
This create a startup account, and I used to for a while store all my data on your server.
Yes.
And one day I decided to just maybe go another direction.
Yes.
How easy is it to export all the data that I enter into your system?
Sure. I know there are export data right there.
Okay, so everything can be exported. Everything.
There's no lock-in on Kinvey. There is no proprietary stuff. There's one library you are integrating in your native mobile apps or any even web apps, and then you're just making calls to get data and fetch data and push notification and offline and all that. That's it. Very easy to get rid of Kinvey if you really wanted to, but I bet you never wanted. So, and then you can, even if you had data external to Kinvey before, you can import that here as well. So you don't have to re-enter everything here. And then very important piece here is you build, let's say, all the data store, the data collections and everything within Kinvey, and now you want to start actually building the mobile app. You don't want to build all these classes by hand, right? Generate code gives you a zip file. If I could just put it on desktop, say, and open, gives you
I think it just unzips it. You have to go to the folder, yeah. You should move it.
Yeah. So this is, so you get out of the box classes for Android and Java, data link connectors, or data link for REST APIs in Java, and Objective-C for classes already built for you for all your data connections.
So you have to download every one of those collections. It's not as...
No, not one collection. This is for the app.
For the app. But so, were you not in the clients?
No. It's client is just the client. This is for the client library.
I see.
I was.
So all your objects are there.
I guess. Oh no. Hold on. Let me actually confirm that for you. That's good. Because this was called clients.
Yeah.
It could be.
I think you have to export each one.
Could be possible. Yeah. So you're doing each one. Basically, you're doing classes for each one. But
to be able to generate all of it too, so
I'm sure there's a way.
Hence what request.
But that's easy to do. And then one of the most powerful features that here is, so there are two kind of paths you can take with Kinvey. One is, I want to build my app on Kinvey. I don't have any data stored today, external data provider, and I'll build that in the future. So you start building your app in Kinvey, you store your data in Kinvey or users in Kinvey, and then when you grow as a startup or as a company or enterprise, whatever, you have your own data source now, and you want to connect to that. I already showed you how to do that, right? Go to the data settings for the data collection and change from Kinvey to something else once you build that data connection. Now, let's say you actually have all your data collections and stuff built up, or even data in Kinvey built up, but you don't have a mobile app yet. You want to test how the data looks, how the integration works. You come into this API console, and let me actually show that to you for the insurance app I was showing you, since that has more data here. So I will come in here, I will say, fetch data for the bills collection. Remember, this was storing data in SQL Server. I say send request, it shows me all the raw data that's coming back in JSON. These are the two records that external provider is giving me, but I can do that for any of these collections, basically, even collections that are storing data in Kinvey. You see all the different settings and for all the different users here. And then not just that, you can actually, and you can make this call as a certain user if you wanted to. You can make this user call as a user in Kinvey or as a user from one of these third-party providers, or Mobile Entity Connect, which is our identity piece, and Mobile Entity Connect can internally connect via any identity provider. And I can even test logging in as the user if I wanted to really test that, but again, I have to pass the credentials here, so I'm not sure if this will work right now. Yeah, I don't need to pass the credentials, but you can test all your data coming back and forth, how that looks. Does it come into Kinvey in the right format or not? Even if, let's say, when you're integrating your mobile libraries and you get an error back when fetching data, you're like, I don't know what data is coming back. Come in here, test it, and you have all the data coming in. And then, as part of the business project, you saw we had all the login here. So when you call this, you see, in fact, you see all the login data coming in here with the raw response as well. You can test all that from there as well. Awesome. Any questions? Go ahead.
You said, like, pretty correctly, nothing's proprietary anymore?
Yes.
Did you say open source?
No. I said nothing is proprietary, as in we are not locking you in. There is no proprietary, like, behind the scenes code you are using, right? Our library, you're downloading the full source for that, right? And also, show you, we already have a test center here. If you go to the iOS download section, and you will do this for each here, you can select any platform and go to downloads, download the SDK. Not just that, we actually have all our timeline and all the fixes we are doing every day, whatever we are changing in our library, available right here for public to see. You don't hide anything. Our competitors force you to submit your request to create an account. They will look who you are, find all the details about you, make you a call, then approve your account if they wanted to. You can get started on Kinvey in 10 seconds. What we do, all our libraries, everything is there. No, we don't hide it.
Do you delete accounts after they become inactive?
Well, if it's a free account, it's a free account. But if it's a paid account and you're not paying, yes.
I mean, like, for the free account. Like, after like a year, they don't log in.
I really don't know. We might be. I don't really deal with those small accounts so far to have the insight into that. But if you want to know, I can find that out for sure. But I mean, as long as there is even if there is someone opening a mobile app and making a call into the backend, it's active, right? If nobody has opened your app in 18 months and you haven't logged into the console for your app, you can probably consider it abandoned.
Yeah. So do I have to put in my credit card for even the free account? No. But it'll be throttled, and then you can work with upgrade your account.
Yeah. Okay. So to show that the pricing thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go to kinvey.com price. So this is our business and enterprise pricing, which you don't need to worry about, but for smaller startup and individual pricing, click here. and then starter edition is free. Indie is 200 a month. You can build complete app, complete use case on this free use case using data and storage in Kinvey and file storage in Kinvey. Obviously, the difference is active users you have. So first 100 active users per month are free. If you pass active users, it's $20 per month for next, whatever, $7 for next 1,000 active users.
What do you mean active users? Is that like if you need IP access or?
No, users who are logging into your app.
Okay. Not sign up.
No, no. Overall, total.
Okay.
Well, active users in a month, not simultaneously. So if this month 100 people logged in, you're in the free threshold. If next month 200 people log in, you have to pay that $7 extra.
So I mean, if the same user logged in twice, that's
No, it's going to be, yeah.
So how do we know that we've got over 100 active users? Would you block the 100?
No, I mean, we won't.
That in one.
No, not necessarily. So, A, obviously we'll send you notifications when you're getting there, and B, we don't close your account. Like if you didn't pay on day one, your app will be active. We'll send you notifications. If you're non-responsive and don't want to pay, yes, then we will close it. But your app will be running.
So we have to prepare, like if we have already 99 users, we have to be prepared for when the 1 million first user blocking, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to, like, we're not going to block his call. We're going to send you a notice saying, hey, you've gotten over your limit. You want to keep continuing using the app, so you have to pay or scale down or do whatever.
So some grace period.
Yeah.
So this platform really isn't meant to be used for a couple of websites where you don't log in, right? It's meant for a website where you.
No, it can be. It can be. So.
Or does the whole 100 active?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously, no matter if the user is logging in or not, you can track users on your website, right? The same way any analytics software does that. You can track unique users coming to the website. In that case, it might come down to the IP addresses, like you were saying, right? So, if it's one IP address behind a firewall that everybody's coming into, we might see it as one user. But how many? I mean, you can't really cheat that as much, right? It's like you're tracking. If you have analytics and tracking on your website, you know how many people are coming to your website. Same way we know.
I mean, but you have to charge the money. I mean, you're going to charge money once it gets over 100 active users.
Yes.
Because suppose someone is just creating a public website that doesn't require people to log in.
Yeah, but users are users coming into the website, browsing the website, or basically new users who are making a call within the Kinvey backend to fetch data. I mean, if all they are going is, if your website is, let's say, 10 pages, 3 of them just have static information and 7 pages fetch data from Kinvey or via Kinvey, and all your users are doing is coming to the homepage, which has nothing to do with Kinvey, it's static content, then obviously we don't charge for that. Once they hit that page that makes a call into Kinvey, that's a user to us. Does that make sense?
Okay, so they use your service without logging in. If I'm on it.
No. So internally.
Woo! Okay, we got anonymous now.
How you doing? The creamy niggas are going outside the ugly RV.
What's wrong with the
So I am Wendy and hang out. But I couldn't get a baconator from him.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I just want to clarify.
We can take this off.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can definitely discuss, but just to give an idea, every Kinvey app has a user in the back. So if your app doesn't have a user who's logged in, when you make a call into Kinvey, your app makes a call into Kinvey, there will be an internal user created for your app. But it'll be one user for your app. So there is no anonymous call. We know which app is making the call, and then obviously we'll know how many calls are coming from which sources, which IP addresses, and so on in that sense. Does that make sense? And we can take it offline. I'll be happy to chat. Yeah.
So basically, looking at parse and comparing the pricing, you're specifically designed for enterprises, not for indie developers to come in and, because there they give you 20 gigabytes of storage for free, a million push notifications and all that stuff, and analytics unlimited.
Yeah, we have 5 million. We have two. I mean, if you are going over 2 gigabytes of storage,
yeah,
you're over a startup or over a small free indie developer, right?
Yeah. So
in that sense, you have 5 business logic scripts, and then, I mean, as a platform, once you grow over this, right, we have feature sets that Parse doesn't even have.
Yeah.
Connectors that we have and other stuff that we have. So the goal is to get you started free. So when I interviewed with Kinvey last year, right? So as part of the interview process, they have us build an app even before we get hired, and I had no idea about Kinvey. I'm just trying to tell you how developer friendly that is, right? And then I had 3 days to build an app, and I've never looked at Kinvey before, and I'm actually in my developer background, I'm a .NET developer, a Microsoft Stack developer, and they didn't have a .NET SDK at the time. Right now, they have Xamarin with just C#, and but they had Xamarin in beta. I used that a little bit, and I used REST API, and I was able to build a fully functioning app in 3 days in Kinvey. And I was able to demo that to the team, and obviously it was good enough that they hired me. The point of saying that is that all our documentation is there. As a developer, you'll be able to find that easy to read. You'll be able to see, and get all the help. We have support forums, but even for free users, you can create a ticket. Obviously, for free users, the turnaround time is a little bit higher than paid accounts, but yeah, and you have obviously my email if you really wanted to contact me, I'll be happy to help you. Okay, and then I guess that's. I mean, if you have any particular feature set you want me to dive into a little bit more, show you more. I don't think we have enough time today to start coding a new app and dive into that. But if you want to see the code for this app or any other app that we already built, I'll be happy to share it with you.
Yeah. Do you guys have use cases that people can download from the web to build
sample
apps?
Yeah. Great question. Thanks. Samples. And then we have samples for each of the platforms, iOS, Android, and so on. And then our tutorials for certain use cases and stuff as well. And then especially for like iOS, you can come into API reference and look at every single API call that's provided in our SDK. What does this do? What does the file store do? What can you do with this? What kind of calls it makes? Everything.
Okay.
Very cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So, Phoenix Mobile Festival app will be built on Kinvey this year, right?
Yeah, we'll see how easy it is to move from parts.
Oh, it's very easy. Very easy.
No, if you give us 500 users for free, we'll move. I looked at it; it's like only 100 users, right? So if you move it to 500, then
send me an email.
Yeah,
I'll see what I can do.
I mean, we didn't know about Kinvey last year.
Yeah.
We really knew about this parts, and we had to cook their apps.
We built an Android app and an iOS app.
Yeah. So how long did it take you? So
we took Parse's app itself.
Yeah.
So Parse has Parse Dev Day, and they have apps for the content.
Yeah.
So there's source code and it's on open source.
Yeah, it's open source and Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So what there any pain points you had as part of building that process, or anything you wanted but they didn't provide, or anything like that?
Yeah, the one thing I mentioned to you about making sure you can store it locally and not just syncing up.
Okay.
That's the one that I had.
So, but why did you want that feature? Why do you need that feature?
Something just I don't want to be in the cloud.
But what kind of thing?
Secure information. My location or something like that.
Okay.
With my password.
Okay.
All right. I'm surprised that any company going to start off with trusting out their private data on your server. Even though I'm pretty sure you won't do anything with it.
Like let's just say.
So because usually companies are very protective of their private data.
100% right. So like I said, right, if you are connecting to your existing data sources, nothing is stored on our server. We are just passing it down to the mobile device.
That costs money. I mean,
he's saying to do that, it will cost him money.
Oh,
You want to be
okay.
on yours.
Okay.
Free, yeah,
Okay.
free load.
No, but I mean, even from a security standpoint, right, that you're saying, we have Farmers Insurance, we have Johnson and Johnson, Sanofi, name the companies, NBC Universal, all these companies who we have gone through, insurance, healthcare companies, that have done their due diligence in making sure that we are secure platform.
Yeah,
And we've
so
always passed the security test. Some of them do, and some of them connected to our platform. But even passing through, right, it has to be secure. You can't say our platform is insecure if we are passing the data to our platform.
Yeah. So would I be able to create a number of objects and just have them locally stored, and not even ever get into the cloud?
Then what are you using Kinvey for?
Just as a data store. Instead of my core data, I want to use objects.
So some data is in Kinvey and some is local?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can do that, but for local data, you don't need Kinvey. You just store it as you would like any other local
Yeah,
data.
but then I have to write a database, I have to do core data and all that stuff. This one is easy. I just have the object and then it's there. I just create new objects. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, you should check it out.
It's replacement for core data and SQL.
Yeah.
Similar.
I mean, if you're not doing anything with Kinvey, then don't do it with Kinvey, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the
but
point.
there should be an option if I'm having a list of usernames and passwords, let's say, or something like that I don't want.
So as the name suggests, it's a backend as a service.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you wrapping?
So we're wrapping off a gift card. So I'll let you choose.
Okay.
One of those, just throw it in the air or pick
So many people are here?
Actually had some extra.
Okay, I'll keep this one. 0415, last four. 0415. There you
go. You win a gift certificate. That's it.
That's it, only one?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we'll head to Enchiladas. Everybody knows where Enchiladas is? They pull up a map. Google Play or iTunes? You pick and choose.
iTunes.
Okay. And then, as a token of appreciation, you guys, which one you choose?
Thank you.
Matt gets the other one. Thank you for taking time.
Of course.
In this hot weather.
Thank you, of course. But,
thanks, guys.
At least.
It's a nice